Hello, everyone. This is the War on Populism. I'm Gabriel Stone, also known as Archangel Gabriel. My friend Jacob.
Yeah.
My friend Jacob, cool guy.
Been friends with this guy for a minute. He's a hell of a history guy. So, yeah. I'm shouting him out, Archangel Gabriel. Listen to this man.
Yeah. And, so basically, what we're going to talk about today, folks, is the alliances that we could have in the world today. But not just that, also we're going to talk about basically, we're going to talk about Israel and Palestine, because people have been telling me on my album, I hate the Jews because I want to give the Palestinians and the Israelites, or the Jews, their own state. I believe in the two-state solution. So what I believe in, folks, is that we should have Israel and a Palestine, and we should have a security force in between those two places, so we could stop the rockets from getting in there. And the two-state solution is actually a thing. It's actually a thing.
It's talked about a lot in politics, because if they were I don't think them together, whatever, as one country, whenever they've tried that before in the past, and what they're trying it again now, it never works. They hate each other. So
yeah.
When they're two different cultures and religions, and there's no reason why they can't be separate countries. Just honestly, North and Vietnam should still be North and South. It's a communist nation, but they have completely different cultures, especially what they were fighting for in the 70s and 60s. And one's more communist than the other. I think they should be separate, just like North and South. Just like Vietnam, it should be North and South Vietnam.
Yeah, and not just that, but we pour so much money in Israel every day. Every day we pour in millions or more like billions of dollars into Israel's military budget, and we're using that to, not just to fight Hamas, the terrorist organization in Palestine, but we use it to basically use on the Israeli military to create Israeli settlements in Palestinian-controlled territory. And basically what I believe in, folks, on the Israel-Palestine issue is that we need to split the land evenly and put a UN buffer in the middle. So basically what I mean is we can't be we can't be killing the Palestinians, and we can't be killing the Israelites. What we need, folks, is we need equality for both sides, and we need to find a agreement. And
we also can't be making an agreement for them, though, because if they think, a lot of times, why people think United States is always meddling is we have to make sure the agreement is settled, so they're not fighting each other just for ever and ever and ever and ever. But we can't make the decision for them, because that's not going to help the United States case and always meddling with in countries' problems. But there definitely needs to be a decision made.
Yeah, and folks, I just want to say I'm sorry for yelling in my other podcasts and the passionate
Yeah, he's passionate.
Yeah. it's because I feel I'm being censored, we all are, but who don't agree with Black Lives Matter and stuff. But folks, I'm just saying, I'm not your enemy. I'm not trying to promote white supremacy. I would never promote white supremacy. I'm egalitarian to the core. I'm actually more egalitarian than some of these people in the government today. Because a lot of them, they just want, they want money and they want power. And getting back to the Israel situation for 1 second, the one thing I want to get out of the way is like people think that if you're anti-Israel, that you're like a Holocaust denier or something. That's not true. There's this thing called fake Zionist Jews, which are basically like, they're not the rebel rabbis. The rebel rabbis are basically the Jewish people that like want to not have like Jewish supremacy, basically. And also, like what Zionism is, it was British. The British started Zionism all the way with their Protestant Christianity. And basically what Zionism was like they converted their religion on everyone. Then they did it with the Jews after World War II. I do agree that the Jews should have had like equality after World War II, but like what we did was we used World War II as an excuse to kill off Muslims. And like basically what that means, folks, is like what I'm trying to say is I'm not saying that the Jews are bad. I love Jewish people. Jewish people are some of the greatest people in the world. What I'm trying to say is the Zionists, the Jewish racists, are basically the people who are killing off the Palestinians. I think that they're becoming the Nazis they swore to destroy. I said that on one of my songs. That's gaining a lot of flack.
You know what's interesting is the Taliban, who we've been fighting for 20 years, honestly probably more, and we might be fighting in the future again, was created by the CIA to attack the Soviet Union, the United States, like CIA military. We created the Taliban, so like before everybody's pointing fingers at like
the Mujahideen.
And like
and like I think that it's good that we're getting out of Afghanistan. I understand that there's a terrorist threat in Afghanistan, but it's out of our control. We can't just be airlifting troops in mountainous terrain all the way in Kabul. Like what we need to do, folks, is we need to bring our troops home. We need to guard.
We need to keep them home.
We need to keep them home. We need to keep them home just in case like there's another terrorist attack. Because we have like half our troops in Afghanistan right now or something crazy like that. And
we finally got them out.
We got them out, but yeah, but we did have like a lot of.
Yeah, United States spent like over $2 trillion over the last 20 years on like funding for the military and like all halfway across the world, like not even close to our country.
Yeah, and not just that, but like we label anybody as a terrorist. Now we're labeling like people who like want to have different opinions. We're labeling them terrorists, and this is what communism is. Like, I'm not saying this because like I'm not a Republican. I think that Republicans are like just like Republican. They're just like business people. But like what I believe in, folks, is that basically what we need to do as humans is we need to give equality to everyone. So there can't be German supremacy, there can't be Jewish supremacy, there can't be any group like taking control of another. There can't be Palestinian supremacy, there can't be any of that. And basically what I'm trying to say, what distributism is equality for everyone. That's the ideology that I'm trying to preach. And basically, guys,
which is not to be confused with communism.
Yeah, not with communism. I'm trying to say is I'm democratic to the core, but I just think that we need a more fair democracy. Like we have to innovate if we're gonna keep our democracy. Because if we keep our democracy the way it is right now, like I believe in the amendments, but like if we don't change our system for the better, we're gonna fall to communism. And
we're going to be forced to, because like with the system how it's set up, like capitalism is like it's good to a point, but like there's like somebody has like $4 billion, another person has like $1.50 and they gotta pay rent. Like it's not working for a lot of people, and that's why like we've been spending $2 trillion on like the war in Afghanistan. Like we have a bunch of veterans, a bunch of people like homeless and living paycheck to paycheck. So we need to fix that.
Yeah, like I said in my other podcast, like there's like I see homeless people every day on the streets, and it really bugs me. But not just that, folks. This is a war on populism. The people who are, saying our children and our boys to die in wars, like our bros, and like not just that, but we need a military. I do agree with that. We need a military.
We spent like so much on it.
Yeah, but what we need to help the poor people and the poor man because this war on terror has cost us billions of dollars. We're going to collapse. I mean, we're just printing more money. Inflation's going way up. Like I said in Masters of Finance on that song, like we're just printing money basically because we don't want to give up the greed, and like that's why there's so many rich people in America, because a lot of them, they don't want to give up the money. And like the only way we're going to save our country is if these rich people, like, they contribute to the economy and they don't just take it all for themselves, and go to space while most of the world's starving.
How is that 25 seconds in space?
Yeah. Yeah, it's horrible. It's truly sickening, Yeah, but and not just that. Like Jeff Bezos, I work for him, and seeing that he's like, putting his Johnson in space, like it sucks. Like I'm just tired of these rich people like thinking they can exploit the poor people and like not face anything, and not just that, but like. Like it's like these people are just they don't have any remorse. They don't have any remorse for the poor man, and
because they're all good in life. They got their taxes. They paid their taxes. Got their bills paid. Like it's pretty like life must be pretty easy when you got nothing to worry about.
Yeah, and not just that, but it really is just it's really sickening what these rich people get away with, these people, but not just that, but like I feel like if we distribute the wealth and we have a more modern economic system that actually promotes hard work and like confidence, like I think that we can take on, we can like.
Well, as a people, we can like do more because
yeah.
more people have more power than just like 3% of the country or the world or whatever.
Yeah, and now we're gonna get into the second part of the title, which is basically alliances that we can have. So. People have been telling me like that I'm like a Russian puppet or whatever, because like I say like that, like I say that like the Russians are like, I don't like Putin at all. I don't like him at all, but I like to say like that like our government is just as bad as the Russians, like because we shoot people, But basically what I'm trying to say, folks, is that I'm not
nearly as bad as the Russian government.
Yeah, not as bad as them, but like, we have a corrupt government, and like, basically what I'm trying to say, folks, is that corruption is what's holding America back. Like we need to like lower the corruption by a modest level, and like not just that, but like I'm actually for keeping our alliance. I do not agree with Trump where he wanted to like get rid of our allies. Like that's the stupidest thing I ever heard. Like getting rid of our allies is not the way to go. What I think we need to do is we need to stay in NATO. But like the thing is like we need to expand it. We need to expand NATO. Like we need to keep NATO. We need to keep NATO and expand it. But we also need to
expand it to like third world countries, not just like UK, Australia, China, like Canada. Like,
yeah, we need to
expand.
We need to be a leader on the world stage. We can't be we can't be bombing people and expect to keep our alliance. Like that's why I'm so glad we're getting off Afghanistan, or at least
we gotta let other countries like solve their own problems to a certain extent. Like we can't do that, and we can't expect these other countries look to us as the first to respond, and now we still have to maintain a presence in the world, but we have to like take a step back and let other countries like deal with their own problems as well. So
yeah, and not just that, but like we need to basically like help the, like what we're doing right now is we're basically hogging all of the wealth for ourselves. And if we're gonna lead by example, we need to show it on the world stage. What we need to do basically is we need to basically help African countries that are in need. We need to expand U.S. aid, and we need to just be an example for the world, and like promote freedom and like every man a king, because like I feel like what we're doing right now is we're greedy. Like I feel like we're more in the oligarchy rather than a direct democracy, because I feel like what we're doing right now is we're hogging all the money for ourselves, and we're basically just saying like that we don't need to help people. Like we just need to help ourselves. Our
leaders need to be held accountable for their words and actions too, because if we can do that, which we haven't really been able to do that recently, but if we can do that, that would definitely separate us from something like the government Russia has. Like stuff like our leaders need to be held accountable for their words and actions and what they say and what people are listening to.
Yes, and also we need to basically, we need to stop, like putting sanctions on countries that's starving people. Like Cuba, Iran, all those countries. We need to lead by example. Like, of course, we need to be alert at all times, but we can't be using the military aggressively. And that may make us sound like we're like soft, or like but this isn't like UN plans. Like they want to overthrow these Middle Eastern countries, and what I'm trying to say basically is that like the
United States doesn't have to have like a huge military presence like all the time. Like it can't be like even Muhammad Ali and like they retired, like Mike Tyson, Manny Pacquiao. They they were dominant, and then they like retired and like slowed down. Like we don't need to be like the most powerful country in the world for like 900 years. Like
yeah, and not just that, but we also have to stop. We need to stop basically just being the world police. Like we need to still like help people, but like we need to be like a Jesus figure kind of. We need to basically like help the
most needy, but not like every one of them.
Yeah, and just have a fair system. And we also need stimulus checks so we can get out of this. We can recover from this pandemic that has totally destroyed our economy. Because if we have a depression, like we have had, and we keep having depression, it's going to crash, and then we're gonna probably be in a civil war or something if that were to happen. But I think Joe Biden is doing good on that part, but I feel like that he can do better. And
I think what we need to pursue, I'm just going to say something quick with like the pandemic is if we can't always be there, because like not everybody, so like if people can't be at their job for whatever reason, like due to the pandemic, like it needs to be a little bit more accessible to like earn your income at your house or something. Like, we can't just have people being unemployed and then just waiting like 6 months on a stimulus check that didn't come in, and they're like 4 months behind on rent. Like, that's why that's gonna destroy our country, and it's not like, it shouldn't be all that pressure just on Biden. It should be on, like, a lot of people should be looking into that.
Yeah, and also getting to China. This will be the last topic of the show. What we need to do with China basically is we shouldn't be like aggressor, because I'm glad that Trump got out, because he wanted to go to war with China or possibly like starve their people. What I think we need to do with China is we need to continue trade, but we also need to be stern. We can't like let them like infiltrate like our country completely. We can do trade with them, but we can't let them like take over our country like they are, because if we're in debt to China, it's game over, because they'll basically have all the resources, and like they'll have all the manpower, and like, cause when we need to stay ahead, we need to stay ahead of them, because if they get ahead of us, their totalitarian ideology will basically reign supreme, and we won't have any rights anymore, and there'll be even more slavery. And like I said in the other podcast, like JFK was very anti-communist China, not because he was racist or anything. It's because he saw that communism like was a real threat to democracy and to freedom of speech. So what we need to do basically is we need to promote democratic values, but we also can't be like starving our other people, and like we need to promote good in this world.
We need to look at our country first before others, like, as opposed to what we have been doing the last 30 to 40 years.
Yeah, and we can't be we need to have our military only for self-defense. We need a mighty military, but we need it for self-defense. And not just that, but we need to give more people a platform, because like I understand that like the Chinese, like they're not a big fan of rights of the people, but I even see on TikTok, like there's people being banned for speaking out against anything that's going on, and I just feel like Joe Biden is a puppet to the communist Chinese. I'm not saying that because I agree with Joe Biden on some stuff. Like, I think that he's doing better than Trump in a lot of ways, but in a lot of ways he's banning our free speech, and he's allowing the Chinese to promote their values on our country, which is basically destroying our democracy. I mean, it would be okay if like the Chinese were just, but like the Chinese they're literally putting Muslim people in concentration camps right now, and killing them, and these are the people that are trying to take over our country, and there's actually sympathizers of these people in our country. So what we need to do basically is we need to be stern with them, but we don't have to make them our enemy. And that's just what I believe. I believe we need to stand strong for our values, but we also need to not have a hostile attitude, because that's what Trump did. He basically just, because of money and power, he wanted to basically starve the Chinese and put tariffs on them and stuff. We don't need to do that, but we don't need to let them infiltrate our country and destroy our democracy. So yeah.
Well, he came in with a General Patton approach. He was like, yeah, we're gonna fuck them up. Like, they don't like us. Like, fuck them up. We're America. It's like, you can't have that type of approach and be the president of the United States. Like, you're not, yes, you do control the military, but you're also the voice and representing the entire country. And you don't need to go on Twitter and say you're gonna bomb other countries. Like,
yeah. And you know, I don't know if we should ban Trump, but like I don't think we should. You know, I don't think we should ban Trump, but I don't think we should. You know, like agree with them either. Like, because these Trump supporters are dangerous. Like a lot of these Trump supporters, they're telling me, like, how like they're gonna reinstate him back in the White House through like their numbers and stuff. Like that would be like World War III, okay? Because like if Trump like just got in, like if they made Joe Biden put Trump in back automatically, these Trump supporters, they don't understand what they're fighting for. They're fighting for a rich billionaire that does not have their best interests at heart. And like, you know, it's sickening what like these Trump supporters are doing. And my parents, my very own parents, are people who are Trump supporters, and they want Trump to get back in. And you know, like the right wing media, like Tucker Carlson and Alex Jones, they are the people that are leading the way for like putting Trump back in the White House. And this is not what we need. What we need is we need to just show Joe Biden our demands, and we need to peacefully protest. We can't be, you know, we can't be like destroying democracy, because Joe Biden did win. Okay, he did not lose. He did not lose, but like we can't be making up false information like that he won, that Trump won, because he didn't. You can say all day long how like the votes were counted improperly, but like it's done. It's in the past. Like it doesn't matter anymore. Like what we need to do is we need to just look forward and try to make this world a better place, because who cares if Trump lost or not? It just depends on what we do for this country. And yeah, and
that's, we'd like to finish on that. Thank you for listening. Subscribe to our channel. Thank you.
The war on populism. And like I said, I'm Gabriel Stone. It's my friend Jacob. Thank you for
no
for getting on here, man.
I'll be here soon again.
Yeah, and yeah, thank you guys for listening to the war on populism, and yeah, let's make this world a better place. Peace.